two kinds of beer in this world, cold and free. I like them both. I'm with Trump there in Dana's green room. I go to Trump, I go, see that dude behind me? I go, that's the CEO of Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch. So we go over there, we're talking to him. We actually had a great conversation. And I'm like, I'll come to Nashville. Come visit me. F***ing did.
That's awesome.
Came with his top team. We broke bread, got up on Bud Light, bold.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Now, before you start defending Joe Rogan, I'm going to start the video with this clip that I'm also showing later in the video, okay? Joe Rogan says that the Bud Light boycott is the pursuit of losers. And Kid Rock says it's just stupid internet trolls who people think care about their opinions. This is what these guys think about the regular guy.
Bored. Find something better to do.
Yeah, it's definitely the pursuit of losers. But the problem is those losers can actually affect businesses. And
that's the problem. According to Joe Rogan, that's the problem. Well. Joe Rogan had Kid Rock on his show for an interview. Not that wild to think about. But they literally started the show on the Bud Light topic. And to be honest with you, I'm a little suspicious, and Joe Rogan's fans are feeling the same, as the comment section on the segment is filling up, wondering what exactly is going on. Now, to be completely fair, Joe Rogan has never been on the boycott Bud Light bandwagon, so I'm not going to call him a flip-flopper or call him out for changing his mind or any of that matter, because for as far as I know, Joe Rogan has always said, like, oh, it was a goofy decision by Bud Light, but I'm not going to boycott it. And then he drank Bud Light, I think, with Shane Gillis, who's also a Bud Light guy. Turns out a lot of these people that are suddenly, let's give Bud Light a break people, have gotten checks or offers of checks from Bud Light. Dana White, notoriously anti-woke, telling us that we need to drink gallons, barrels of Bud Light. We had Kid Rock change his tune after simply meeting with the CEO and then going on Joe Rogan's podcast yesterday, where him and Joe Rogan basically waxed Bud Light's balls for 15 minutes about, oh, how cool the CEO is and what a great company they are and all this. It was really sad to see. Now, again, to be fair, Joe Rogan has never been on the boycott Bud Light bandwagon, but Kid Rock absolutely was. Kid Rock now apologizing, calling it a tantrum, and the comments are not happy. This is what happens when your company gets woke. And I also find it curious that this was the clip that Joe Rogan decided to upload to YouTube. Now, I'm not accusing Joe Rogan of taking any money for Bud Light, but this was the most insanely flattering section, insanely ball-washing segment I've ever seen on Joe Rogan. And the comments are not being kind. Bud Light is why I started, by the way, my company, Coffee Brand Coffee. It's why I called it Coffee Brand Coffee. I didn't want any stupid own the libs coffee or anything like that. I just wanted to have the best possible product that is apolitical, so people can enjoy things like our blueberry cobbler or our brand new ultra silky dark roast. If you're a dark roast fan, you've got to try that. Our strawberries and cream, we've got all of our best flavors right now on sale, 15% off, promo code 15OFF, 15OFF. Also, if you've ever been thinking about trying our Roaster's Choice program, the first month is 50% off. There's 236 reviews with a 4.9 average out of 5 review score. It's a different coffee from all around the world every month, handpicked by me, and it is by far our most popular thing. We're doing a whole upgrade to it starting next week, which I can't tell you about until I'm done. But that's 50% off the first month too. Consider supporting a company that isn't woke. Now, sounds like a night of bowling and getting tanked on Bud Light ended Kid Rock's boycott. Well, he got bought. Now, he alluded to in this interview that Bud Light offered him money offered to work with him, or they tried to work out some sort of sponsorship deal. But Kid Rock was, he was above all that, even though he also said that he spent time pitching them ideas on ways they could work together. I understand when people get bought off. It's tough. The amount of money they probably threw at Kid Rock or Shane Gillis, and we know it was $200 million or something like that for the UFC. That is an actual like human interaction emotion that I understand. It doesn't mean I have to like it, but I can at least understand where it's coming from. This whole bit was embarrassing. Little less than a year after blasting a couple cases of beer into oblivion after they teamed up with Dylan Mulvaney, Rock is back on the bandwagon. At least that's what he told Joe Rogan in a long roller coaster of an interview that dropped Thursday. Apparently, Anheuser-Busch was so determined to win Kid Rock back that the CEO, former CIA agent or Homeland Security or whatever, Brendan Whitworth, flew to Nashville for a night of shenanigans. We broke bread, we got effed up on Bud Light, went bowling, Rock said. The visit at the end of the day, they got the message, and I'm not someone who holds a grudge. It's a company, not a human being. It's a company, it's a corporation that is not even American, by the way. Just for posterity's sake, just to keep it real, keep it 100, as the kids say. No cap or whatever. Honest to God, I was having a lot of fun. One of the things I told him as a friend, somebody who doesn't want to see the brand destroyed anymore, you got smacked, a pretty hard spanking, and I don't want to hold your head underwater and end this company and put people out of work. You got the message. Look, I actually understand that. I do. This is why the right loses. This is why the anti-woke lose. Do you think that the left would say, oh man, yeah, they got our message. We don't want to get people fired. No. When they don't like your company, they bury it into the dirt and they don't care about who loses their job. And if you look at a lot of this, a lot of the reaction, you see, you want to laugh, listen to Kid Rock talking about Bud Light. We losers, as these rich guys call us, who support this beer that drank it all my life until this at least stand for something and stick with it. They get all chummy and get some kind of kickback room deal and some cash out of it, and then all of a sudden we're the bad guys. Yeah, I would agree. What an absolute hypocrite. Dude never even cared about the issue and what these companies are doing to future generations of kids who suffer from mental illness. Disgusting. I mean, yeah. Kid Rock admits his viral Bud Light boycott video was a tantrum. You mean to tell me that Bud Light didn't funnel some money Kid Rock's way? Do you mean, am I supposed to believe that Bud Light did not funnel money to Kid Rock in some way, shape, or form to basically start the show, to start the Joe Rogan podcast talking about Bud Light? And by the way, I think Joe Rogan was in on that too. Just mostly because he may have his reasons, right? Whether it's supporting his buddy Shane Gillis, whatever the case is. But what's interesting is you had Trump come out and say, oh, Bud Light should be given a second chance right after a giant fundraiser or timing around a fundraiser. Kid Rock, oh, guys, we made our point. Everyone go back to your regular everyday lives. Why? No. Have they apologized? No. So they threw some money at the UFC, money that regular people will never see. So they threw some money at a comedian who was already a multimillionaire. Is that supposed to make us regular people feel like they've atoned for their sins? They never even acknowledged why they did it. And then I even have people in my mentions like, guys, we've done enough. What are they, bots? Are you really simping for a multinational, not even American company? And by the way, what's interesting is Joe Rogan says in this interview that, oh, the sales are up. Since signing with my buddy Shane Gillis, sales are back. No, they're not. Here's an article from 3 days ago. Bud Light loses its crown as best-selling Super Bowl beer even. with Corona taking top spot after the boycott. The blighted brand was the official Super Bowl beer and ran an intermission ad, but also sold fewer beers than Corona. Sales of the beer are still down 30% where they were before its tie-up with Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah. What are you talking about, Joe? The sales aren't back. The stock has recovered a little bit. Sure. But Anheuser-Busch is more than just Bud Light. It's also getting tons of money invested in it from, ESG funds and all this crap. The sales are not back.
In business and you have a clear market, you might want to focus on that market.
Yeah, and don't disparage them openly, publicly, like they did.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, and Joe Rogan has that's a good take. I wanted to, give him some credit. It's not like he minimized anything that Bud Light did, or he thought, I don't know what the point of this was, but it was interesting that they jumped right into it. And then you just look at the comments. I thought I'd never drink Bud Light again. Then Dana Light told me all the good things about Bud Light does and how much money they gave to him. And I still don't drink that stuff. 2,000 upvotes. The flip-flopping in this episode is off the charts. Appropriate response to the opening question would have been, not me, Joe. Dylan Mulvaney is the dude that took out Bud Light. This episode of JRE is sponsored by Bud Light. Kid Rock really just said, hey, I met the CEO and he was cool, so I changed my mind. Yeah, that is what he said. Kid Rock is reminding me of the scene in Wayne's World where Garth says, it's like people only do things because they get paid, and that's just really sad. This conversation is part of Bud Light's new marketing campaign. I mean, if this wasn't JRE and Kid Rock, I'd think this was planned beforehand. I do think it was planned beforehand. These two do better mental gymnastics than some of the best politicians I've ever seen. Kid Rock, these internet trolls think they have a voice. Also, Kid Rock, I'm going to post a video of me firing on Bud Light on the internet. I mean, like, Bud Light CEO played Kid Rock like a fiddle. Nobody's buying this. Bud Light definitely paid these guys heavy. I think so. This plays like a guerrilla marketing campaign for Bud Light. I'd agree with that. They literally opened the show. They opened the show with, hey, let's talk about Bud Light, which hasn't even really been a major topic for a long time. Everybody in the comments blasting them, looks like they got secretly. That's how it looks to me. The fact that Joe Rogan proclaimed, ever since they got together with my buddy Shane Gillis, sales have been... No, they haven't. He definitely got paid. It's definitely a pursuit of losers, but the problem is those losers can affect business. That's what he thinks about the everyday guy. The pursuit of losers. Does that sound like Joe Rogan's your guy? The pursuit of losers. Now, before you start defending Joe Rogan, I'm going to start the video with this clip that I'm also showing later in the video, okay? Joe Rogan says that the Bud Light boycott is the pursuit of losers. And Kid Rock says it's just stupid internet trolls who people think care about their opinions. This is what these guys think about the regular guy.
Bored. Find something better to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a pursuit of losers, but the problem is those losers can actually affect businesses. And
that's the problem. According to Joe Rogan, that's the problem. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't think you're a loser. I would hope that to earn your business over at coffeebrandcoffee.com, promo code 15OFF. Check out my Roaster's Choice program, which is 50% off your first month, all available in whole bean and ground. We've got about 50 different coffees to choose from. Check us out right here in the US of A. We'll talk to you again real soon.